Election Day has arrived in Canada. I'm Ryan Funk here with you Multicultural to bring you your 2025 general election coverage. As Canadians head to the polls, we've been speaking with community members right here in Winnipeg to hear their perspectives. From hopes to concerns, they're sharing what matters most to them this election and what they want to see for the future of our city and country. Let's dive into the voices shaping our community with Florence Okwudili.
Is there a united voting strategy within the African community, or is everyone voting individually based on personal beliefs?
Within the African community, it's a combination of both. Depending on where you live, I found that a lot of the African communities live in the South. And in the South, there are candidates that have been able to make themselves available and familiarize themselves with the African communities and be kind of a friend and ally to the communities. So those candidates will readily get their vote. It doesn't matter whether whichever party they belong. So you find the Africans in the South might tend to vote as a bloc for one candidate. But again, looking at the landscape of the political situation in the South now, we also have some of the African communities trying to branch out into another party. And so I believe their vote will be split in this sense, but it will majorly go to one particular party. In the South. But for the rest of the community, for the rest of the areas in the city, the African communities will normally vote according to whatever they feel like, not as a bloc.
Is there trust in the political system among African Canadians? Why or why not?
Firstly, from the beginning, the African communities come from countries that they do not believe that their vote counts anyway. So they do not really have faith in the political system. The general rule is that all politicians are liars. All politicians are the same. You hear this as something, that remarks that people will generally talk about. But what does that mean to the African community? It means that they come from a background where they don't trust where they don't trust the government, they don't trust the political parties. So, but that notwithstanding, they still believe that somebody has to be the leader, right? Somebody has to lead us. Somebody has to do the government work. So with that, whoever makes themselves available readily to them, they would normally put their trust in that person. So with the African community, it's not as much as trust, but if a candidate is able to come close to them and be able to promote that they can be trusted, and trusted in most of the people from the African community don't really bother themselves too much with government details. They believe that you are elected to take care of that, but the very one that affects them is what they are most importantly will be attracted to. Things like immigration, things like schools, for children and just something affecting their day-to-day living.
Do you think there are enough politicians of African descent, and what can be done to increase their numbers? How can we build a culture of supporting our own into public office?
We don't have enough representation within the African community, but they are coming up gradually. We have quite a few of them now in the race. How can we support them? How can we support them would be for the government or the communities to begin to make themselves available. And again, I was watching, I just want to deviate a little bit. I was watching one meme, something that my daughter sent me, and it's two kids, two girls. How do you know you have a Nigerian parent? And the two kids said, my parents don't ask me, what course do you want to do? My parents tells you have to do this course. So that means that our orientation have to change from our background, from the family itself. So while we are raising our kids to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, accountants, and all that stuff, I don't think within the family, within the African communities, they ever raise their kids with the consciousness of becoming a politician because they truly believe that politicians are great liars, don't tell the truth. I have not seen any parents that tell the child, do you want to become a politician? Or when you grow up, you want to become, no. But they will say, do you want to become, somebody successful, but not really a politician? So I'm hoping that, the more we live in this country and the more we stay here, that our attitude and perception will begin to change towards the way we orient our kids into stuff like that. So it's not just in politics, it's also in other areas that mostly skilled trades and and in politics in general. Normally the African community, because of I would say our background to government. Firstly, the colonization didn't promote government as a place of honor. It doesn't promote government as a place of custodianship. I don't want to use the word custodianship because that's what it promotes, but it doesn't promote it in a positive light. So when we are going into government, people look at it like, are you going to be good or bad? And most of us have experiences of bad from our leaders back home. So they don't really expect much from the government per se. They just want to do things their own. But we are forgetting that we are in a new environment where those people in the government with a stroke of pen determines what happens to us on our day-to-day living. And that's what I explain to people, to go out and vote, come out, make your voice to be known, promote your ideas and your values, and let your government know about it. And that will help to, raise that consciousness from to our kids that this is an area that we could do something about. This is an area we need a representation.
It's not prestigious to be a politician back home, right?
Not really. The politicians, we regard them as, people that stole our money, people that ruin our country, people that it's always going to be a negative light. Even though while they are in power, people hail them, people, cheer for them, talk about them, but they have supporters for sure. But in general terms, politicians are regarded as those that contributed to the failures of the country.
You said before that people don't trust politicians back home. How we can change it, and how do we encourage newly arrived Africans to take interest in Canadian politics?
I think that the only way we could do that is by politicians themselves making themselves available, finding ways and means to connect to the individuals. I tell you what, I'm not promoting him, but I think that Terry Dougald has done a great job with immigrants in his own sector. And I'm hoping that other politicians will learn from him. He's always there at their parties, at their events, he listens to them, his office is open. They know that they can go in and call on him. They know they can talk to him. They know that they can, write him and they will be heard. They will get a response. So I think politicians should begin to make an effort because you have immigrants that are already scared, already do not want to have anything to do with politics, and do not even want to vote. Because as far as they are concerned, their vote doesn't count anyway. They have chosen who will win. They know who will win already. They will win without my vote. So they have all these negative ideas already in their mind. And unfortunately, we are increasing in numbers. So I think politicians need to do a better job of making themselves available to the people that they serve. And the immigrants, unfortunately, have to learn that you can go to your representative. You can go to his office. You can call the phone. And somebody will pick up. You can email. But these are new areas in their life that they have never practiced from the country where they are coming from. Because these politicians, one, don't make themselves available to them at home from our background. They live in, they are up there and the others are down. So, except when it's time for vote. So when people come from such background and it's, they don't, it will take you to, or somebody to come to their door or come to their event or get connected to the community as much as possible and as in any way they can do it. Not intercultural, multicultural communities or cultural communities are always doing events to mark one thing or the other. If they are marking their independence, they are marking a festival that is very important to them. These are opportunities for politicians to connect with them and said, okay, I'm here, this is me, invite me, and then I'll be there. And then they will get to meet them on person to person and get to talk with them and get to know them the more. I think that's the best way to start.
And the last question, what kind of future would you like to see for your community in Winnipeg and for Canada overall after the elections?
Firstly, I would like a community or after the election, I would like an inclusive community. When the new elected officers are in their positions, I would like them to consider making positions available for newer immigrants to be part of. And remember that these individuals, sometimes this is a new area for them, not really new, but new in the sense that it's an opportunity that they would like to be part of, to see how decision making, how government policies are done, how it is, how the government policies are drawn up, what processes it takes. A lot of people that goes into politics, a lot of immigrants that goes into politics have political experience a little bit. Some of them have political experience a little bit. Not that they studied politics, they didn't. Some do, but some did not. Most of them did not. But they were part of politics in their country. And then they come in here and they feel, okay, I could do something. But the processes at which policies are derived or even generated and then passed, in the bill, how you pass the bill, you enact a bill and get the bill to be passed in the House. All these things is something that cultural communities or immigrant communities need to learn. There was a time we have, I was advocating for our younger kids to volunteer at the Ledge in one of those, I think they are called PAGE program. And unfortunately, it's so hard for even newcomers to get into the PAGE program at the legislative building. For younger generation to begin to see, as young as they are, to begin to have a different direction or different idea from other than what they are hearing from their parents, and get first-hand information on how laws are made, how our MPs, what they do when they are in the offices. I try to get in some kids in there from my community or from the African community. It's such a closed-up area, and I'm like, okay, how are we going to learn? There are communities, there are families, there are people that have been in Winnipeg for 20-something years and have never been inside the legislative building. Is it not accessible? It is accessible. Legislative building is accessible. Why would I want people to visit there? I will want people from the immigrant community to spend time and visit there once in a while, just to see the structure of the building, the structure at which laws are made, how the MLAs, MPs, how they read their bill, how they talk, how they sit, the processes. It's a learning process.
Thanks for joining the Multicultural team for your 2025 election coverage. Want some more insights? Head over to u-channel.ca. And don't forget to vote.